Hi guys, previous class we discussed about North Indian cuisine and the historical um, food and cultural influence, their tradition, crops, eating habits, all these things we discussed about previous class North Indian cuisine. So as a part of your second year syllabus, Indian regional cuisine, so far we discussed about South Indian cuisine, North Indian cuisine, and today we are going to discuss about the East Indian cuisine. So in East Indian, Northeast and East Indian cuisines are very important, and they have the regional influence and as well as their food habits, their cultural influence, and the people who ruled about the places and their availability of the ingredients, cultivation, music, tradition, culture, festivals, all these things. It is influences about food and food habits. So, East India, the West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa. So these all are places comes under the East Indian region, Orissa, and food pattern for the Northeast India also. Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura. So these are the places comes under East Indian region, Northeast Indian region. So as we discussed, every regional cuisine influences about their food habits and the cultural influence and festivals and their cultivation, the language, music, festival, the tradition, all these things. So apart from this, the climate conditions also it is influences about food habits. So these are the places comes under East Indian and Northeast Indian. In the introduction, so when you see this kind of a food preparation, the rice is a staple food and fish is a staple food, and the sweets, a lot of Bengal sweets are going to be eaten, and the sweet preparations are very high, and the fish coastal area they eat more and more variety of fishes, and the East Indian food habits, fish is a very widely used in the some of areas. So these all are influences about food habits of East Indian people. West Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa and Jharkhand. These areas comes under East Indian region. So when you talk about, they have roti influence, roti also they eat, and as well as they eat lentils, pulses, legumes, the vegetables, and flavor rice, and as well as your dahi, curd, and some vegetarian and non-vegetarian dishes are influences about their food. The staple food is going to be the rice. Is the staple meal is a various states of eastern India is a rice, because the cultivation of rice is a more and more, and they eat along with their curries, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, and some fry. So these all preparations goes with the rice. So as well as sometimes they eat roti also. Fish is a very popular various parts of the region. As I said, it is a East Indian region. It can be a Bengal, it can be Orissa, it can be Assam, Mizoram. So these all are areas. The fish is going to be very popular. In the fish preparation also, they eat a lot of mustard oil, peanut oil, and they eat a lot of the dahi. Is they add dahi in the fish preparation. So most of rest of India, and they don't like to add a fish and dahi together, but East Indian region, Bengal and Orissa and some Jharkhand areas, so they eat fish and dahi and curd also. The method of preparation of fish or any other vegetable or cooking preparations will be a steaming and deep frying happen to be a principal method of cooking. So they apply the method of deep frying, and they take the fish, they marinate along with some mustard oil and some the chili powder and turmeric and fennel powder and fennel powder. They marinate and they leave it in the oil, and they do the deep frying. When they do the deep frying, the masala and the thoroughly crispy texture will come to the fish, and they're going to have. So this deep frying method is introduced for the fish and chips of British people. And a steaming method and patrani machi, and we have the method of making fish also, patrani machi. They take the leaf and they put the fish in the leaf, and they add masalas, mustard oil, mustard seeds, mustard paste, and the cumin paste and coriander paste and chili powder and turmeric. They use a lot of turmeric in the preparation, and they use paste of some coconut also, and they mix it up and they wrap it in the leaf, and they will put it in this steam that is known as a patrani machi, also very popular in a Bengal, East Indian region. Apart from that, all most of preparations, vegetarian preparation or non-vegetarian preparations, they apply the method of deep frying method and steaming method. So these are the two methods they apply. And when you apply the steaming method, the less oil will be there. Deep frying method is a dry heat method, and the oil will be little absorbed method. There are a wide range of spices that are used in a East Indian food. That is, you use a kalonji, you use cumin seeds, you use a chana dal, you use a chickpeas, you use a urad dal, you use a red lentil, you use a black gram, you use the spices like cinnamon, cardamom, kalonji, onion seeds, turmeric, and ajwan, and they use fennel seeds. All these spices they use in their preparation. Milk and dairy products also very important to preparing in a different kinds of sweets. As we said, East Indian, the Bengali is a very, every meal, before the meal they start with the sweets. So the sweets are very popular in Bengal cuisine, and it can be a rasgulla, it can be a rasmalai, it can be a gulab jamun, it can be a, some of dairy based sweets, rabdi, or the reduction of the paneer. The sweets are very popular in the East Indian region, and that's why the dairy products also very popularly used for making of sweets. Uh, Making of Shrikand also as well, and Kalakand also, and Barfi also. And West Bengal. West Bengal cuisine originated the taste of West Bengal, Tripura, and the Barak Valley of Assam. So, original taste of Bengali cuisines comes from Tripura and Barak Valley of Assam. So, that is the original taste of Bengali food habits. Bengali consume rice served with a fish and a lentil as a staple diet. As I said, is a South Indians rice a staple food, and the same East Indian people also they eat rice is a staple food. Along with that, fish and lentil, the dal is a common accompaniment food to their preparation. As I said, fish also they do steaming method and deep fry method. Sweets occupy an important place in the diet of Bengal. As I said, rasgulla, rasmalai, raspberry, gulab jamun, and the kalakand, and rabidi, and shrikand, and reduction of milk, lassi, sweet. These are the preparations, sweet preparations, very popular from Bengal. So before their meal also they start with the sweets. That's why Bengal and East Indian region is very popular about the sweets. The sweets contains a lot of carbohydrates, and it is a more the energy food for them. And pita. Panta bhat is a traditional dish consumed in rural areas. Panta bhat is one of the preparation they use in a rural area, and that is going to be eaten in a rural area of people, because every area, the rural food, tribal food, and urban food, it's according to the change of recipes, according to their the presentation, according to the modification of recipes, a modification of ingredients, a utilization of ingredients, the way of skill of chef, and the way of skill of establishment. All these things are depend on what type of food you are serving. And at the same time, the rural food and tribal food and urban food shows a difference. That is a panta bhat is one of the traditional dish consumed in rural areas. That is also the based on rice preparation, rice based preparation. At Bengal dining, eating three times a day, so lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are traditionally served with the banana leaf, pan, and supari. Okay, they take pan and supari also after the meal, for they include in the meal, while after having the meal, the lunch or dinner. So the Bengali food, especially as I said, dahi machi, the vegetable curries, and chicken curry, and some rice, and some sweet, rasgulla, rasmalai, gulab jamun, and jalebi. And so the jalebi is a north region and famous. Gulab jamun also north region and Indian everywhere famous. At the same time, East Indian also famous. That's why they use sweets are more in Bengal. And these are the preparations from the Bengal cuisine. So the recipe and the method I'll explain later, because when we're doing the practicals, I'll explain again later, because it's a long process. The curdling of the milk and taking the curdled milk paneer and rubbing and adding sugar and molding into a round shape, and blanching in the hot water, then dipping into the sugar syrup, making the rasgulla and rasmalai, and reduction of the milk, adding the saffron, adding the sugar, and the thick consistency and absorption of rasgulla and rasmalai is a milk flavored and saffron flavored. So these all are the way of preparation of sweets, and as well as fish preparation also. They use dahi machi and deep fried machi, shallow fried machi, and these all are fish preparations are going to be prepared in a East Indian. So as I said, it is after the meal they're going to have a pan and supari also. Bihari cuisine is predominantly vegetarian. Bihari people use vegetarian. As I said, it is, I mentioned already, in the North Indian cuisine as well, but it comes under, so the area of East Indian also. East Indian and North Indian is a between that. So Bihari cuisine, they eat a vegetarian, as I said, the Sattvic food and the Brahmins food, and most of thali preparations, one wet curry and one dry curry, one the fried curry, and one sweet, one masala reduction, and lassi, and charts, and rice and roti. These all the basic preparation and presentation for the your Bihari people. Mustard oil is a very uh, large quantity of using in a very East Indian places, whether it's a Bengal or Bihar or Orissa or Assam. Some more popular traditional cuisines. So from the East Indian cuisine, the popular cuisine food is Bihari and uh, food, khichdi. The khichdi is one of the preparation of rice and dal, lentils, by cooking together with the spices and some vegetables. And sattu, it's a kind of a roti preparation, of going to be eaten like fermented bread, unleavened bread. Gungi, so it's a kind of lentil preparation. They're going to use as a accompaniment for a rice, and as well as roti, and as well as some liti. Liti is a the baked and the dry roast bread rolls, dumplings. unleavened bread. Kurma is a, it's a North Indian region is a very famous, and East Indian region also famous. So the kurma is made out of the poppy seeds, and they add garam masalas, and they add some little coconut, and they add the little cashew nuts all together. They made the paste, and they prepare as a brown gravy, and they add vegetable paneer, and the other vegetables as making beans, green peas, potatoes, cauliflower, the paneer all together. They make it as a kurma. The kurma is accompanied for the rice and roti and puri. Pita. Pita bread is one of the dumplings again. So the rice-based steamed rice balls, that is also going to be eaten in the East Indian. Bihari kebab. So kebab also very popular, and kebabs will be prepared with, as I said, it is a Mughlai influence, but they'll make it in Bihar also. The vegetarian and non-vegetarian keema kebab, and chicken kebab, or and vegetable kebab. Chivra is a kind of a rice preparation, and they use all the rice and the vegetables, and the herbs, and they'll cook along with the chivra. So little mashed rice. Jharkhand. So another place is called as the Jharkhand in the East Indian, and the Jharkhand cuisine is a equally vegetarian as well as a non-vegetarian. So vegetarian and non-vegetarian will be eaten, both is same in a Jharkhand, and there both will be there. So the popular preparations are dal bhat, and tarkari are in a integral part of regular Jharkhand meal. So one lentil will be there, one bhat will be there, one roti will be there, one sabji will be there, and the vegetable dry preparation, wet preparation, semi gravy preparations. So when you're presenting whether it's East Indian or North Indian, the thali or banana leaf or palm leaf, the uh, banana leaf. So this is the way they're going to place the food for eating. They put some wet curry, dry curry, and semi gravy curry, and the roti and chawal and lentil, dal, and some dahi and sweet and pickle, and some of chas. So this is the way they serve in a thali or banana leaf. So the semi-dry curry will go with the roti, and the dry curry will go to with the roti, and the gravy goes with the rice always. That is a good accompaniment for as per the accompaniment of roti and rice. Non-vegetarian Jharkhand food is a preparations like spicy chicken. So Jharkhand people also they eat chicken, and they use a little spicy, and they were using the chili powder and coriander powder and cumin powder and garam masalas, cloves, cinnamon, cardamom, and the dalchini. All the powders they use, and they prepare onion and tomato based gravy, and they prepare the brown based gravy, poppy seeds gravy, and they use a little mustard oil as well, and they use some of dahi also in the preparation of your chicken curry. So they eat little spicy to the non-vegetarian. All preparation expect the pickles and festivals ones are low on oil and spices. All preparations except the pickles and festive ones are low oil and spices. As I said, it is a South Indian or North Indian or East Indian. Indian originated food, always a steamed, less oil, and less spicy. Just steamed or boiled, and just giving a tampering. That's it. That is called as a sattvic food. The sattvic food, that is a festive food, a traditional food, we can say that. So that food is popular as well in a East Jharkhand in East India. And the pickles, we know that is the oil and spices are one of the preservating agent. They chiefly utilize good proportions of mustard oil as a the medium using which is they cook in their food. As I said, it is a mustard oil mostly they use in a preparation of their food. Most of common recipes pulka, bhat, tarkari, and achar. So as I said, in any middle class family or any rural food, tribal food, or urban food at home, what they eat one sabji, one dal, one roti or rice, and some chas, buttermilk or some dahi. That's all. That is the regular meal. When you go to the commercial restaurants, then you will find variety of preparations. So mix of preparations, variety of preparations. The outstanding future of Jharkhand cuisine is chonakan, chonakana, and sattu, panchampuran. So the five spices preparations, five grains preparations, sattu and chonakana. So these are the preparations. The people like to do bhojana to their food items. The people like to do bhojana. Bhojana is a meal they're going to do in their food items. Some of the recipes from the Jharkhand: Tekwa, Mitha Kaza, so Til Barfi, Sabji, Jingni, Sabji Jingni. These are the some specialities of Jharkhand. So now another place is after the Jharkhand, you can go to see the Orissa. Orissa is the staple food is rice and vegetables, and for the people of Orissa, and a large number of populations are vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Fish and other seafood is delicacies like prawns, crab, and lobsters. Crustaceans food also they like Orissa people, and they like rice, and they like fish, and they like vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian. The Orissa also similar. The all the East Indian regions people will have a similar food habits, but only thing is a little variation in preparation one to one families. A large number of population are vegetarians. Most of people are vegetarians in Orissa. Non-vegetarian fish and other food. Okay. Food are cooked with a little or no oil. So mostly the food is going to be applied with less oil, and without no oil also they do some steaming and roasting kind of preparations. The mustard oil is the base of preparation. They use a mustard oil a lot. And vegetable, uh, Panch Putna. So Panch Putna means the lentils, five varieties of lentils, and in a non-veg and grain masala, again masala, garam masala and haldi is a widely used. Garam masala and haldi also they used. As I said, it is a Bengali also they use, and Orissa people also they use. The Bengali and Orissa and Jharkhand, East Indian people are very the artistic thinking, and they're very popular with the arts. The typical meal in Orissa consists of a main course and dessert. The main course and dessert. One chawal or roti, dal, sabji, and one sweet. That is goes with their meal. Orias eats three times a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sabji and also pickles. The Indian standard food it is. Oriya desserts commonly made from the chana, milk, coconut, rice, wheat flour. So they use kajas, they use burfis, they use some the folding of the maida based, flour based sweets, and sugar based sweets, and dairy product based sweets. They use all these kind of sweets, and as well as they use coconut and rice and wheat and chana. Pakla, a fermented recipe, is a very popular in a summer, particularly in the rural area. Pakla is a kind of a dry fermented food. So curd rice. Similar, what? It is a curd rice. Northeast, Arunachal Pradesh. So Arunachali cuisine is reflected to the century of old culture. The method of preparation is quite old. So as per the history and their methods of cooking also they follow. So old history, the long history, the long way of method of preparations, that is the traditional preparations and the simple preparations. Consumption of boiled food is a very common in the entire state. So less oil, no oil. So boiled food is a mostly they use in their preparation. Arunachal Pradesh is mostly filled with non-vegetarian dishes because Arunachal Pradesh is a little quite cold area, so that's why the reason they eat lot of non-vegetarian dishes to keep their body warm and healthy. The staple food of Arunachal Pradesh is a rice along with the fish, meat, green leafy vegetables. Fish, meat and green leafy vegetables also they use, and the staple food will going to be rice. Main tribes are uh, Apatani, Nishi, Monapa and Sheردuk, Sherdukpen. So these are the main tribes and tribal areas people they eat their boiling foods. Aptani and Nishi, they are non-vegetarians. Aptani and some tribals, Aptani, uh, Apa, Aptani and Nishi tribals food, they're non-vegetarians. They boil meat, vegetables, stews, and they eat. The community of diet includes the rice, perung, and meat. So the diet is rice and meat. They boil and they eat. Apatani, drink, homemade fermented drink, a pong or oo. So it's a kind of a drink, fermented drink they prepare that is called as a uh, 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 apatani. Apatani is it look like a word Tamil, but their traditional drink of Arunachal Pradesh. And from Apong Sara is a prepared used for the medicinal purpose. So Sara is, as we discussed, is a Indian food is a belief. There most of vegetarian food they believe that is food is Ayurveda. So Sara also a kind of medicinal value contains in that they use as a medicine. Nishi generally taken a boiled food, even the meat, whereas apatani is like chutneys. So Nishi people they eat stew foods, and apatani likes chutneys also, pickles and chutneys also. Shorudukepen and Monapa tribe. So another tribal people that typically influenced of the Chinese culture and Buddhist religion. So Arunachal Pradesh, Sherdukepen and Monpa tribe. So these people influences about the Buddhism, vegetarian and Chinese culture. So Chinese culture and Buddhism is what type of food it is? Mostly the food is boiled, extracted of flavors, extracted of all together, and they eat liquid food. That is the food they have. Diet include rice, maize, jellies, fish, meat, sheep, yak, wild bear, barking deer, and bison. So these all are wild meats also they eat. They drink pak, and also it is a distilled variety called ara. So it's a kind of a drink they use as a accompaniment with their meal or alcohol. The drink what they take, so that is known as a pak and ara. So it's a kind of a ara. Mostly consumed milk and milk products of yak. Yak milk and milk products will be prepared because it's a cold area. Yak is more available, and they do the farming and they grow along with them. So that's why yak milk and milk products they use. Tibetan salted tea. So Tibetan also the Buddhist influence and the Chinese influence, and that is they eat the salted tea. Consumption of momo, uh, tukpa, and chow mein, and shows that the Tibetan influence in their diet. So they eat chow mein, they eat momos, they were tuppa. So these also they eat. The influence of the Tibetans. Assam. So Assam cuisine is a rice, fish, meat, and birds. Wild meat, fish, and meat, and vegetarian also they eat. Preparation of the rarely elaborate the practice of bhuna is absent in the cuisine of Assam. Bhuna is absent in the cuisine. So preparation of rarely elaborate. So the elaboration meal is a very rarely, and when they are elaborating of the meal, they utilize a lot of preparations. As I said, it is a Indian preparation. Constant is one dal, one semi gravy, one gravy, and one dry, one chutney, one pickle, one lentil with the dahi paste and tomato base and onion base and the suka preparation, all these things. And rice is a staple food. Mustard oil is used for cooking. East Indian region, northeast or east, mustard oil is a constant, and they use every preparations. A traditional meal is Assam begins with a khar and ends with a uh, teneng. So hot and sweet. Start with the hot and ends with the sweet. A wide range of pithas are prepared by the Assam. Pitha, as we discussed already, dumplings. So pitha bread also, the dumplings also will prepared with the rice base and they eat. Chewing of a pan, supari is a very common. Chewing a pan and supari is a common. So because the cold area to keep their warm of body. Traditionally, food is usually served in a khor tal or kahor tal or banana leaf. Tali or banana leaf they present. They present everywhere in us, East Indian and South Indian, same. Rice items, steamed rice, pita, komal saul, and during the special occasions like bio and a special rice prepared called pitas, til pita, gila pita, and hutli pita, and sunga pita are made for the rice based dumplings. Rice based breakfast cereals, kohi, muri, komal, soil. So these are the breakfast rice based preparations also they eat. Vegetarian items. Rice are served with kara anja and a variety of uh, pitikas, tenga, and along with kaudi, karoli, and kursia. Okay, these are the vegetarian preparations they eat. Non-vegetarian item also chicken, piang, duck, fish, most of common preparations. Pork, beef also commonly some types, and hulkoti. So tea also they eat and they drink. So these are the uh, Assamese food. Okay. So now, what is the Manipur? Manipur is the principles of food. Manipur is a rice, fish, and vegetables. As we everywhere, the East Indian is a common. Most of our people are non-vegetarian. So again, is a Hindu influence and Hindu religion influence is there. Manipur is a loves the Naga Ayaba, and one of the most popular dry fish is the nagri. So dry fish also they love to eat, that is called as a nagri. Dishes are typically spice that use a chili umarok. So the chili name called as a umarok. So that is a very spicy. That is also they use in their preparations. They'll prepare the food little spicy. The most of the food use a very little or no oil. Very little or no oil. And that means steam and boiling. They use a lot of methods. Main drink is sekmai. So that they take a drink as a tea, the sekmai. Some of the popular dishes: aromba, chamtong, sing, singjoy, morak, metpa. So these are Manipur specials. It is an influence of Buddhism and Chinese people. Tongho, Naga, Tongba, and Pangnam, Uti. So these are the specials of some of Assamese. Um, Manipur. Chengam, Pomba, a Nagamba, and Alu, Kangumet, Sana, Tongaba, okay, tofu also they use. These are the preparation specials of uh, and the Manipur. Meghalaya, three main tribes: Garo, Khasi, Jainita. So three tribes: the tribal food, urban food, and rural food. The common food of the people are rice, meat, fish preparations with a number of vegetables or roots. Roots vegetables also they use. As we discussed, all East Indian region will be stable food is rice, fish, and meat, and vegetables and lentils. Garo, sorry. Carrows includes rice, several wild and domestic vegetables, root, tubers, and bamboo shoots, relish, pork, beef, dried fish. They use a garo. So these kind of preparations, they keep it, they store it, they preserve it, and they utilize for their preparation and meal because it's a climate conditions and the seasonality and the availability. All this can be considered, and they store it and they'll use it. No general uh, aversion of any food except milk. Do not use turmeric oil, and most commonly used ingredients is cooking soda. Cooking soda is the fermenting agent for the fermenting agent for their food, for steaming or boiling or frying. They use cooking soda as well. Drink rice beer and Songsarek believe it is a cure diseases. As we said, it is a Ayurveda. They feel that the disease can be cured of rice beer and Songasarek. Kasi. The community has a non-vegetarian diet. The Kasi community, they eat a lot of non-veg and very fond of chewing betel nut and drinking tea and smoking is there. According to their climate condition, they smoke, they drink, and they eat non-vegetarian. And kayat from the rice is a very common food. The popular recipe is a jado. So it's a preparation called as a very popular dish called as a jado. It's a rice based as well. Jain tia. So mostly non-vegetarian. So use a liquor, wine prepared by them with yogurt, rice, and fruits. They use wine. They use most of it non-vegetarian. They use a lot of spices. They use boiling and stewing and steaming. These methods they use. Mizoram. Mizoram cuisine is a blended Chinese and North Indian cuisine. It's a blended with the North Indian and Chinese food. The staple food is primarily rice served with a fish, or and almost all dishes are non-vegetarians are traditionally served in a banana leaf. So everywhere is a banana leaf. Less spicy and plain in a taste. So these people will Mizoram less spicy, less oil they use, and plain in taste, not much too much spices they use. Most of recipe is almost without oil, so they don't use oil. Steaming method and boiling method and the kind of stewing method. Popular dishes are bhai, so some the fermented drink, swachair, and vegetarian. Popular drink is a zoo. Nagaland. The food of Nagaland is comprised of the plain rice cooked with the vegetables and meat and many different animals. They mix all together. They put into the stock pot and the steam, and they make the stew and they will have it. Naga tribes are non-vegetarians. Fish, dry fish, dogs, spiders, earthworms, pork, beef, crab, cats, chicken, and even elephant. Uh, uh, res- uh, restrictions are to female folk. Okay, so they have all, they are tribals. So whatever the creatures or animals or vegetables or whatever is available, they kill and they eat. So that is a Nagaland people food habits. And Nagas add lots of spices and chilies in their daily diet, because a lot, the flavor substituting, they add a lot of spices and chilies, so the strong flavors can be diluted and covered. Some of common recipes: axoni, fermented bamboo shoots, and soya beans, anishi. Some of the a variety of indigenous Naga drinks: uh, dazu, d- dazutes, zuto, ruhi. So these are the generally preferred by both female and male folks. Sikkim. Rice is a staple food. Sikkim, that is served with a range and traditional fermented food. The vegetarian dals, fresh vegetables, bamboo shoots, and wildflowers, mushrooms they eat. They use in their cooking. Non-vegetarian beef, pork, and fish. And the alcohol drink is ta- tang is a very common. Some of the common traditional food is a momos, uh, tukpa, and churpi, sale roti, and tang. So these are the common food. Tiripura is a tribal non-vegetarian. The staple food is consists of rice and fish and dry fish and meat, pork and chicken, mutton and beef, turtle, fish, crabs, prawns, frogs, and dogs. Almost all vegetables are boiled and steamed and stewed. Some of the common recipes: um, godak, shukor, bharota, and chakoi. So these are the some of the dishes of your Mizoram, Tripura. Okay, so these are the some of specials and varieties of East Indian cuisine. So when you're talking about East Indian cuisine, the Bengali cuisine is mostly focused, because they are the art of cuisine, and art of people is a very high in a East Indian region. That's all, guys. Next video we'll discuss about West Indian region. Until then, take care. Bye. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts, I'll explain in the classroom.